Hello everyone, hope you are having a good day or had a good day. This little yoga session is going to be a nice relaxing unwinding session. So perfect at the end of the day or really any time of day actually where you just feel a little tired and you need to slow down and you just want to kind of recharge a little bit. So for this all you will need is your yoga mat and a couple of yoga blocks if you have them. And then when you're ready, come onto your mat in a nice comfortable seated position and we should begin. So, taking a seated position that feels good for you. You don't have to sit cross-legged if your knees aren't very comfortable you sitting like this. You can always have one leg out or both legs out or whichever way feels most comfortable for your body. Okay, so coming to a comfortable seat, rest your hands onto your legs or into your lap and just roll the shoulders up to the ears and then roll them back down just to open out across the chest and the shoulders. Let your shoulder blades sink down your back and close the eyes or just have a soft gaze with your eyes. And let's just begin just the first few moments just to settle here into this space. So allow your legs and your hips to feel very heavy, sinking down in towards the ground. And ever so gently just allow the spine to lift up out of the pelvis, out of your hips. So just lengthen the spine up out of the pelvis and just a little gentle lengthening up out through the crown of the head. So we just stack each of the vertebrae on top of one another. And just allow yourself just to settle here into this space. Take a few breaths. If you've had a busy day and this is at the end of the day, just take a few moments so just to find some stillness, to slow down. Just allow the body to relax and rest. Take a slow, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And let's do it again. Slow, deep breath in. Draw that breath down into the base of the lungs. And then when you're ready, release the breath out the mouth. And let's do that one more time. Slow breath in. And then with a noisy out breath through the mouth. Okay, blink open the eyes if you did close the eyes and bring your hands down onto the ground, a little bit of stabilizers for your body. And let's take a deep breath in again. And as you exhale, drop the left ear towards the left shoulder, just open up down the right side of the neck, just hold it here, breath in, breath out. And inhale, head back onto center, exhale over to the right hand side, right ear to right shoulder, allowing a nice deep stretch coming down the left side of the neck and across the left shoulder. Taking an inhale here. And breathing out. Lovely. Bring the head back on top of the spine. Drop the chin down to the chest. Just open through the back of the neck slightly, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Jaw nice and relaxed. One more breath. And then lifting the head back up. This time let's look all the way up to the ceiling. So lift the nose, lift the chin, just open through the front of the throat. And take a breath in. And breathe it out as you bring the head back to center. Lovely. Okay. Drop the right ear to right shoulder again and extend the left hand out along the floor and gently press the left fingertips into the ground. Just slightly more of a sensation of the stretch now across the left shoulder and into the neck. Just take a breath in and out here. And then bring the head back on top of the spine and the left hand back in. And then take it over to the other side. So left ear, left shoulder, right hand out to the side. And gently press the right fingertips into the ground just so you feel a slightly deeper sensation of that stretch along the right shoulder into the right side of the neck. And take a breath in. And breathe out. Lovely. Inhale, lift the head back on top of the spine. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, roll them back down. Do this a few times, shoulders lifting, rolling back down. Maybe move the neck and the head as well at the same time. Keep everything nice and fluid and mobile. Wonderful. Bringing the hands back down to the ground and the head balanced on top of the spine again. Take a deep breath in, both arms lifting up. And as you exhale, lower the hands back down, keeping the shoulders and the neck nice and relaxed. Let's do it a couple more times. Inhale, reach the arms up, lengthen the spine, lift the ribs. And then exhale, lower back down. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. This time we're going to take a little twist. So twist towards your left hand side, lower the right hand onto your left knee, and then lower the left hand onto the ground behind you. And inhale, lengthen up nice and tall, and then exhale, slowly rotate, look back behind you. Turning the head only as far as feels comfortable for you, and just take it here for a couple of breaths. Let's not force this twist, just allow it to happen in its own natural way. So don't worry about pulling yourself around or making this too deep. Let's hold for one more breath. And then inhale, spinning back, face the front of the mat, lift the arms up as you inhale. Let's do that little seated twist on the other side, setting yourself up. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head, and then exhale, gently rotating, look back behind you. Remember, we're not pulling, we're not pushing ourselves around, we're just gently exploring what our range of movement or range of, our range of movement. Yeah, let's just explore what that is. Just taking one more deep breath in and out, deep breath in. And then let that breath go. And then inhale, lengthen up again. And exhale as you unwind. And inhale, both arms lifting up to the sky. Interlock the hands just above your head. Flip the palms up towards the ceiling and press up through the palms. And your fingers give the little ribs a little shake side to side. Take a deep breath in. And then palms together, exhale back down in front of your chest and your heart. Oh, lovely. Okay, bring the hands onto your shoulders, elbows pointing out to the side, and just start to circle the elbows around. Nice big and slow circles. Think about getting as much movement into this shoulder ball and socket joint as you can. Big slow circles. Oh, this is lovely. One more big circle round. Wonderful. Then keeping the elbows out to the side, extend the arms out level, more or less with the shoulders, a little bend in the elbows. Now your right palm, you're going to turn that down towards the ground and then flip it back towards the back of the room and see if you can turn that palm all the way up to the ceiling. The left palm is going to go the other way. So you turn the left palm forward and down and flip it back. Okay. So the left shoulder joint is internally rotating and the right shoulder joint is externally rotating. Let's change sides. So flip the hands the other way. Right shoulder comes in, left shoulder goes out. Let's do it the other way, flipping it back in. Little bend in the elbows, internal rotation of the left shoulder, external rotation. So you're rolling the right shoulder joint back, left shoulder joint rolling inwards. Let's change that again. Right shoulder rolls in, left shoulder joint rolls back. And just do that a couple more times. I call this Egyptian arms. It's just a really good way just to gently stretch all of the tissue around the shoulder joint. And again, keep the mobility and fluidity in our shoulder joints. Let's just do one more on each side. So right shoulder rolls in, left shoulder rolls back. Marvelous. Okay, lower the hands down. Maybe give the shoulders a little roll, lifting the shoulders up to the ears, rolling them back and down. Oh, maybe loosen the neck, move the neck as well. Marvelous. Let's come around onto your hands and your knees in any way that you can. So coming around to hands and knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Let's just do a few rounds of cat-cow. So dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, lift the tailbone. So you're opening up all the way down the front length of the spine and the belly as you inhale. And then exhale, pressing into the hands, pressing into the tops of the feet and round up through the spine, chin towards the chest. Let's do that a few times. Inhale, dropping the belly, looking forward, deep breath in, open the front body. And then exhale, pressing into the hands, pressing into the feet and open up along the back of the body. Let's do that a couple more times. Dropping the belly, inhale. And exhale. And then one last time, dropping the belly, inhale. It's just so nice just to move the spine before we do anything else. And then exhale, rounding, tucking under. Wonderful. Come back to your tabletop position. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, slide the left hand forward and bend the right elbow a little bit so both shoulders drop towards the ground. Hips stay above the knees. And then inhale, slide that left hand back. And exhale, right hand slides forward. Bend bend the left elbow so both shoulders lower towards the ground. Inhale, slide the right hand back. Exhale, left hand forwards. I love the way this opens up through the shoulder joints. And then inhale, left arm slides forward, slides back, sorry. Exhale, right arm slides forward. Okay, now keep the right hand where it is, but slide the left hand as well up along to the top of the mat to meet it. So your hands are slightly wider than the shoulders, probably as wide as your mat. And then we're going to come down into puppy dog pose. So lower the forehead to the ground, or if you can't quite reach the forehead, grab a block. Sorry, you can't quite reach the ground. Sorry, grab a block and place the block on the floor, and then bring your forehead down onto the block. Okay. Now from here, we're just going to allow the rib cage just to melt gently towards the earth. So we have a beautiful deep stretch through the through the arms, through the shoulder joints. And this really is a beautiful way just to target the mid and upper back. Taking a few slow, deep breaths in and out here. You can always lower the elbows down to the ground. That's always an option. You can always lower the elbows down to the ground. If it's a little too much for the shoulder joint, you can always elbows down. And we're just going to hold here for another 2 or 3 slow, deep breaths as you allow your ribs and your heart just to melt towards the earth. One more slow, deep breath. Wonderful. And then lift the head, lift the chest, bring the hands back underneath your shoulders, and then take the knees nice and wide, big toes touch. We're going to come to child's pose. So knees wide, big toes touching, sitting the hips back towards the heels, and keep the arms straight out ahead of you. Again, forehead onto the ground or onto a block if you need to put the ground, up to you. Now, if your knees are a little bit too sensitive and child's pose is not comfortable for you, the alternative would be to sit around on your sitting bones, bend your knees like so, and reach the arms forward between the legs. So that would be an alternative to child's pose. So you still get a beautiful deep stretcher down the spine and a lovely opening out across your lower back. But whichever pose is comfortable for you, we're going to hold it here for 5 slow, deep breaths in and out. So get comfortable, fingers nice and wide. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose. Release that breath. Again, slow breath in. And let it go. And last 2 breaths on your own. And then very slowly lift the hips, lift the head, lift the chest, coming back up onto all fours. Bring the knees back underneath the hips if you if you were in child's pose. Take hold of a block and place that towards the top end of your mat. We're going to come down onto our belly into Sphinx pose. So we're going to come down nice and slow and gentle, and we bring the elbows underneath the shoulders and palms flat on the floor. Now this would be your traditional sort of setup for Sphinx pose, where your forearms are on the floor, you're looking straight ahead, and you feel this in the mid and upper back. If you wanted a little bit more of a deeper sort of sensation, you could bring your forearms up onto your block, or blocks if you have 2 of them, and you just lay them alongside each other. And you can come up a little higher into Sphinx pose. This really kind of targets the mid and upper back. And we're going to hold this here for 5 slow breaths. So maybe close the eyes if you're comfortable to do that, or just have a nice soft gaze. Breathing nice and slow. Gently bringing the shoulder blades together. So we're just giving our tissues just a little bit of time. Just allow them just to gently stretch. Helps them to become more elastic, more pliable, more flexible, and helps with our everyday movement if our tissues are a little bit more elastic. Let's take one more breath here. Lovely. Okay, if you are up on a block, carefully come down off that block, place it to one side, and then we're going to come down into a pose called Broken Wing. It's a really good shoulder opener. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your right arm into 90 degrees, into kind of a cactus arm, into a 90 degrees. So the right elbow is more or less level with the right shoulder. Take the left hand, oh, you might need a block again, sorry, bring that nearby. Bring the left hand onto the mat, palm flat on the floor, and actually your block, sorry, you might need just to place it underneath the head. Now we're going to lower the head onto the block, or you might want to lower yours down onto the ground, and that's fine. Left palm onto the floor, and then taking a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to roll towards that right shoulder. Your left leg is going to lift and just drop onto the floor behind you. Maybe it's going to touch the ground behind you. Now, if your left foot isn't touching the ground, another modification would be to bend both knees in front of you and stack the knees there, and maybe bring the left palm in front of the chest and gently press into that left hand. Not too strong, not too deep, but you should feel a beautiful opening along the front of that right shoulder joint. Again, relaxing each time you breathe out, so relax the belly. Try and soften through the right shoulder. This is quite a deep, intense stretch, so ease into it. Just take another few more breaths in and out here, giving our body some time just to fully experience and release any tightness in and around the front of that shoulder and chest. Let's take a couple more breaths. Okay, we're going to come out of this nice and slowly. So if you did bend your knees in front of you, just straighten both legs once again, roll onto your belly, and let's set that up the other side. So bringing the left arm into a cactus arm, so the left elbow is level with the shoulder and the left palm is flat upon the floor. Bringing your block a little bit underneath you so it's ready for your head. Right, bring the right palm onto the floor, right elbow pointing up towards the sky. Lower the side of your head, the left side of your head down onto the block. Press into that right hand and slowly roll towards the left shoulder and the left hip. So you're stacking the hips on top of one another. And maybe you want to bring that right foot on top, the right foot behind you resting on the floor. And I said, if you can't quite bring the right foot down to the floor, you can always bend both knees in front of you and just stack the knees on top. That's always an option. Again, just holding here for a few slow, deep breaths, allowing that left shoulder to open up. If you do find this is a little bit too much on that left shoulder joint, you can also stretch the left arm out, straight out along the floor. Just take another couple of slow breaths. And if you did bend your knees, straighten them once again, and then roll over onto your belly. Brilliant, wonderful. Move the block out from the side. Another little shoulder opener, but this one's opening up the back of the shoulder and upper back. This pose is called bow tie. So sliding that left elbow slightly further ahead of you, so you've got a bit more space. You're going to take the right arm and slide it behind the left elbow, so you're kind of crossing that right shoulder right underneath you. Now either bring the forehead down to the ground, or I forgot to say the important part, extend the left arm straight out ahead of you, so that left arm is straight, yeah. Bring the forehead down to the ground, or again, if you wanted to, bring the forehead onto a block. And just taking a few slow, deep breaths here. It's a beautiful, gentle stretch out across the upper back and down the outside edge of that right shoulder and right upper arm. Another couple of slow, deep breaths. And then slide that left hand back towards the left shoulder. Press into the left hand, release the right arm out from underneath you. And let's just do the same on the other side. So right elbow slightly further forward, slide the left arm behind the right elbow. really roll that left shoulder all the way underneath you, and then extend the right arm out along the floor. And again, either bring the forehead down to the ground or onto your block if you need to bring the ground up to you. So right arm is straight out ahead of you, left arm is rolled underneath you. You're on your belly, and you're just going to take a few slow, deep breaths. Lovely, a little gentle stretch across the upper back, through the left shoulder. And just another couple of breaths here. Wonderful. And then slide that right hand back underneath your shoulder. Lift the head, lift the chest, release that left arm, move the block to one side. And then we're going to come up onto your hands and your knees. Bring the knees forward toward your hands. Cross the ankles behind you. And then look, we're going to bring the hips back and swing the legs forward, ready for a seated forward fold. So legs are straight out ahead of you. I always find it helpful if I can just release the buttocks flesh out from underneath you, just to kind of get the sitting bones a little closer to the ground. So we're going to do a seated forward fold. Again, with your 1 or 2 blocks, you might just need that alongside you. So seated forward fold. Sitting up nice and tall, so spine is tall. You can start with the toes drawing back towards you, so you really open up through the back of the legs. And then inhale, lift the arms up by the ears, lengthening through the spine, and keep that lovely tall spine. As you exhale and fold from your thigh crease, so think about a little hinge at the top of your legs, and you're folding from that thigh crease rather than folding from your waist. So we want to keep the back nice and flat. And then slowly lower the hands down wherever they land on your legs. It does not have to be the toes or the feet. And just gently wrap the fingers around your legs. Now we're trying to keep the spine straight here rather than rounding the spine. If you find this really quite tight in the back of your legs or your knees, use your block and bring that underneath your knees. So just lift the knees up off the floor a little bit there. And that can often help ease that sort of tightness along the back of the legs. Now look towards your ankles and your feet. And then close the eyes. We're going to hold here for about a minute. So nice, slow, deep breathing. Plenty of time for you just to settle into this, to make any little adjustments you need to. And slowly on each out breath, you might start to feel as if the belly and the chest and spine is just sinking a little closer to the legs. So just waiting nice and patiently, allowing the body some time just to open up and let you back in. Just another 3 slow breaths in and out. Allow your spine to be nice and heavy here. If the belly and the chest and spine want to sink towards the legs, just let it happen. No need to pull or force or push. Just let it happen naturally. One more breath. And then very slowly walk your hands back up your legs just to lift your shoulders over the hips once again. If you did have a block underneath the knees, just place it out to one side. We're going to come into a seated twist. So we're going to bring the left foot underneath the right leg. Let me spin around to show you. So the left foot is underneath the right thigh. I'm going to take the right foot. Now you can either bring it on the inside of that left knee, or if you're able to, bring it on the outside of the left knee. Yeah, the right hip is lifted up. That's totally fine. It doesn't have to be on the floor. So right hand around behind you. Inhale, left arm lifting up, lengthen up through the spine. Now really try hard to keep the spine nice and tall here, because when you lower that left elbow towards that right knee, there is a tendency to round through the back to get the arm to embrace that knee. So really try focus here on keeping a nice tall spine as you spin towards the right, and then bring the elbow down on top of that knee, or even maybe even hold the knee in the left hand. And look, your back hand, we want to try and bring it fairly close in towards you, so you're not leaning back, okay? Bring the hand fairly close in towards you. And then inhale, lengthen up again, and exhale, very gently turning, look back behind you. And you might want to peel the right shoulder back over to the left side of the mat, just so you open out through the front of that shoulder joint and across the chest. Remember, we're not forcing, we're not pushing. We're just gently exploring how far around we can go without any without any sort of effort or force. Keep a nice tall spine so the vertebrae can rotate more gently, more easily. One more breath. And then inhale, sit nice and tall. Exhale, slowly unravel, face the front of the mat again. And let's just do that seated twist on the other side. So changing your legs around. Either bring that left foot onto the inside of the right knee or outside of the knee. Left hip is up off the floor, that's totally fine. Inhale the right arm up by your ear. And then exhale, spin around towards your left. And then bring that right elbow either on top of the left knee or hold the left knee in your right hand. And start to gently turn and look back behind you. And peel that left shoulder over towards the right side of the mat. Just to open through the shoulder and the chest. Keep the tall spine. A couple more slow deep breaths. And then inhale, lengthen up and slowly unravel. Face the top of your mat again. Let me spin around so I'm facing you. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose, and just hold the feet or the ankles or the shins if that's where you can, and just gently bounce the knees just a few times, getting into the hip joint. Okay, we are going to lean forward, so allow the knees to come back to center, or to stillness, I should say. Take a breath in, inhale, lengthen up. And then as you exhale, we're going to lean forward towards the feet. So the belly and chest come down towards the ground. And you can either just cup the feet in your hands. It's a nice way to warm the toes up. Or you can reach the arms forward and palms on the ground, whatever feels comfortable for you. Let me spin around to the side again, just so you can see. Now you have the option here, either keep your back nice and flat, which I would absolutely recommend you do if you have osteopenia or osteoporosis. Or if your spine is okay, then maybe you can round your spine, drop your gaze towards your feet, and bend the elbows ever so slightly. And we're just going to rest here for a few breaths. Just listen to what your body needs. Do you need to back up out of this pose a little bit? Or could you go a little deeper without forcing, without pushing your body into a particular shape? Just listen to what your body needs right now. Just encourage your belly to soften so your lower back can open. Soften your lower jaw, so don't clench the teeth. Let the lower jaw relax. 3 more breaths. One more breath. And then super slowly walk the hands back up towards you as you lift the head and shoulders. Oh, lovely. Extend the right leg down along the floor. We're going to come into a pose called shoelace pose. So right leg is straight, and you're going to bring the left leg over the right, and we're aiming here to stack the knees. So again, let me turn around to face you. So my left knee is more or less stacked on top of the right, and my left foot is on the outside edge of the right thigh. Okay, can you see that there? So hands either side of the legs. Inhale, lengthen up, nice long tall spine, and then exhale, folding forward, sliding the hands maybe forward alongside your lower leg, and then looking down towards your right ankle. Feel this quite a deep stretch coming down the outside edge of the hips and along the back of that right leg into the hamstring and the calf. So I always suggest to keep your gaze towards your front ankle, because if you were to drop your gaze towards your right shin or your knee, you're going to create kind of a rounding in the upper back and the neck. So we want to try and keep the upper back straight in this pose. You can bend the elbows a little more. I know this is super deep for some of you. So every time you breathe out, just try and relax and soften any area of your body that seems to be resisting. So if that's the back of your right leg or your hips, just see if you can relax through those areas as you breathe out. Just imagine that they're melting a little bit on every out breath. One more breath. And then very slowly walk the hands back up towards you. Let's just do our shoelace pose on the other side. So left leg extend, right knee bend. So you can stack the right knee on top of the left. And actually, sorry, I should have said on the other side, if your knee, your top knee, if it's not comfortable to be bent at such a degree, you can always just extend the right leg straight out. So the right leg is across a diagonal. Does that make sense? I hope you can see that. So as we did before, hands either side of the leg, inhale, lengthen up, and exhale, slide or tiptoe the fingers forward and bring the belly and chest just to hover above that top leg. Your gaze is towards your left ankle. And this time, let's turn your palms up towards the sky. This kind of act of surrender, but it also means that we're not leaning onto your hands quite so much. Every time you breathe out, just encourage the body just to soften, to let go. Even if it's just another 1% that you relax on each out breath. It all helps, it all helps. Shoelace pose. Relaxing into any area where you can feel this most acutely. So if it's your lower back or the back of your left leg, see if you can really soften and relax those areas. Just encourage them, let them know it's okay to let go. A couple more breaths here now. And then turn your palms down and super slowly walk the hands back up towards you. Okay, take the legs super wide into what's called dragonfly pose. And again, I always find it helpful if you can just move and lift your buttocks flesh out from underneath. You get the sitting bones back down close to the floor. Hands on the ground in front of you. Take a deep breath in, lengthen up. And then exhale, slide or tiptoe the hands forward. And just come to a position where you start to feel a comfortable stretch down the inner thigh, the adductor muscle. And again, if you're really feeling this quite tightly on the inside of the knees, you can either bring a block underneath each knee or just lift the knees up slightly. So there's a little bend in the knee, and then that takes away some of that tight pulling on the inside of the knee. So wherever is comfortable for you, find the right position. And then take your gaze forward towards the ground. Close the eyes if you're happy to do that. It really helps to turn your attention inwards. And just melt into this forward fold. A lovely deep stretch for the inner thigh. Which of course the adductor, the inner thigh muscles are part of the hip mobility, hip operation. Maybe you might find that the elbows will start to bend a little. And if the elbows are pretty close to the ground, how about you think about turning your palms up towards the ceiling, just as you did before. Just melting into this pose. We just hold this here just for a few more minutes. Not more minutes, a few more breaths. Each time you breathe out, just encourage the body just to soften. So you're always doing a little body scan, seeing if there's anywhere that you could just switch off a little more. It's like going through your house at the end of the day and turning off the lights. It's the same with just holding these poses, seeing if there's any joint that you can soften, any muscle that you can just release. And just melting into these poses. Here we go, just another 2 or 3 breaths here. And then turn your palms down if you did flip them up, and super slowly walk the hands back up towards you. Wonderful. Okay. Alrighty, just need to check my notes. Bear with me a moment. Flip it over. Okay. Bridge pose, supported bridge pose. Bringing your legs together. And you're going to need a block for this, maybe even 2 blocks. So bringing the feet flat on the ground. You're going to come down onto your spine and bring the heels more or less underneath the knees, and your knees are going to, your knee caps are going to be in line with your hip joints, okay? So keeping the knees in line with the hips. So head down on the ground, palms down on the floor. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, push through the feet and lift the hips up. Now this is where you can slide a block underneath your sacrum along your lower back. So we're not on the lumbar spine, we're actually on the bony part that's between the back of your hip joint. Now you can have the block as low as this, or if you feel that's really not giving you very much kind of a support or an opening on the front of the hips, you can always bring the block up to what I would call the mid-height, okay? And you might want to just hold it here. It's just a nice opening for the front of the hips. Or some of you, if you want to, and again, this isn't about forcing, but you might even perhaps be able to bring the block into its highest position, like so, and bring the arms down either side and rest here. So the back of the neck is nice and long, the belly is relaxed. And it's one of those lovely poses that the longer you hold it, the more you can start to feel the body is creating more space. So right now, you might start to feel as if all of your abdominal organs are moving towards your rib cage and your diaphragm. So we're just taking everything out of the pelvic bowl, which is kind of nice because normally everything always sits heavy into the pelvic bowl. So it's kind of nice for us just to be able to take that pressure off the pelvic floor and allow all of the organs just to have a little stretch on the undersides. So letting the weight of your hips rest upon your block, let the block take and support you. Of course, you can hold any of these poses for longer if you just feel that they're really working well for you. If that's just what your body needs, you can always pause the video and just rest in these poses a little bit longer. But we're just going to take another couple of breaths here. We're going to move on, but feel free to pause and make this practice your own. So one more breath, and then press through the feet, lift the hips, take the block out from underneath you, place it to one side, slowly bring the knees back down, bring the hips and spine back down to the floor. Just rest it there just for a moment, just allow the natural curves of the spine just to re-establish themselves. And then draw the knees into the belly and the chest, just stretch and open through the lower back, and just circle the knees around a few times. Let's massage the lower back after that little back bend. This always feels kind of nice just to slowly roll over the lower back. Wonderful. Keep the right knee where it is, but extend the left leg down along the floor. We're going to come into a reclined twist. So the right foot is going to rest on top of the left thigh, left hand on top of the right knee, and take the right arm out along the floor, level with the shoulder. So looking up to the ceiling, take a breath in, and as you exhale, guide the right knee over towards the left. So your right hip is going to lift up off the floor, and you're going to turn your gaze, look down your right arm. So we take this twist all the way up the spine into the neck. And we're just allowing that left hand just to rest on the outside edge of that right leg. So again, we're not pushing it down, there's no force. We're just allowing gravity just to allow to take hold of that knee and that arm. Just hold it here for another 3 slow breaths in and out. And then very slowly roll onto your spine. Let's just do the same on the other side. So right leg slides down, left knee comes into the chest, and then place the left foot on top of the right thigh, right hand on left knee, and left arm out along the floor. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, guide the left knee over to the right, so the left hip and the lower back lifts up off the floor. And you turn your gaze and look down the left arm. And just allow the upper body to get nice and heavy here, shoulders nice and heavy. Right hand just resting heavy on the outside of that left leg. Relax the belly. Close the eyes as well. That's always a good thing to do. It just helps to calm the mind, calm the brain. Turn your attention inwards. One more breath. And then super slowly rolling onto your spine. Beautiful. Bring both feet flat on the floor again, heels more or less underneath the hips. And then we're going to heel toe the feet together and then let the knees drop open to the side and the soles of the feet are touching for reclined cobbler's pose. Now, if you feel this quite intently, quite strongly through the hips, you can always slide the feet further away from you so the legs are more of a diamond shape. So find the position where you feel a comfortable opening through the front edge of your hips there. Now, for a more of a calming finish, you can bring the left hand onto your heart, the right hand onto your belly, or if you want to open up through the chest and the shoulders, bring the arms into cactus. And if your hands don't quite touch the floor, because maybe you've got a little bit of stiffness through the shoulders, you can always bring blocks underneath the back of each hand. And we're just going to hold this pose, whether or not you've got your hands on the floor or one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. We're just going to hold this here for a few breaths. As you let your legs get nice and heavy and the knees drop open to the sides, relax the belly. Couple more breaths. Again, feel free to pause this video and stay in this pose for as long as you need to. One more breath here. If you're ready to move out, slowly bring the knees back towards one another again. Maybe use your hands just to gently lift the knees back on top. Oh, wonderful. Now, if you have time, please just slide the legs down, come and find Shavasana. Maybe put some socks on first if you're feeling a bit chilly. If you've got a blanket, put that over you. But otherwise, if you need to finish your practice now, roll over onto one side and just bring that lower arm underneath you just to support your head and neck just for a few breaths. As you slowly prepare just to rejoin your day, your evening. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly press yourself back up to a nice gentle seated pose. Coming into any comfortable seat for you, with your shoulders stacked above the hips, hands resting on your knees or your lap, palms down just to sort of signify that you're quietening the body down now. Close the eyes or just have a soft gaze on the ground in front of you. Just take a deep breath in. Let that breath go. Maybe you want to just spend a few minutes here, perhaps just sitting in meditation, just meditating on your breath. Or is that if you have time, staying in Shavasana. But I hope this practice nourished you. I hope you feel you can come back to it whenever you need to, whenever you just need to slow down and recharge and just shut the world away. But thank you so much for your time and your energy today, and I really look forward to seeing you again on the yoga mat. Thank you. Take care. See you again soon.